Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn, I'm the nerd in a snapback, and today we are checking out Warhammer 40k Darktide. This game you can actually buy right now on Steam and play it if you want to, but its official release date isn't actually until November 30th, 2022, but they kind of had that option of just, pre-order and play early. The one thing that there was a caveat to that was that there was a question of whether you'd actually be able to maintain your progress from this early open access, because that actually wasn't guaranteed until yesterday. There was a question to be had of if your progress in this early open access area, as I don't think that was correct English either way, would carry forward into the full release, and they actually only confirmed that very, very recently, that all of this time and work that people had put in this early access period was going to carry forward. So that has been confirmed. This game is also coming to Game Pass, which I'm very excited about. So it is going to be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. If you would like to have access to it as part of your Game Pass subscription, you do have access to it there. However, one additional caveat to that is that this game does not have cross-play or cross-progression at this time. The devs have talked about how that is something that they would like to work towards, specifically talking about consoles for crossplay, but it doesn't even have crossplay in the way of that people that are playing it through Game Pass on the PC are able to play with people that are playing it on Steam on the PC. So just be aware of that as you go into this. As a quick little precursor of that, if you're all going to get on Game Pass, you're set, you're excellent, you're good to go. But if one of your friends already bought it early on Steam, they can still play with you on Game Pass if they pick it up on Game Pass, but they can't play their already in progress Steam game with your Game Pass version. It doesn't cross progress in that way, as just a quick heads up and clarification. But another one thing is I have actually already played this game. They had an open beta available for this 3 weeks ago, I think. This is from... I forget what the name of the actual developers are. I was busy. Fat Shark. They've made Warhammer Vermintide and Vermintide 2. This is the Warhammer 40k version of those style of games. They're very similar to games like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, just with a Warhammer coat of paint put on it, with their own kind of take on mechanics and stuff like that. I have already played it. It was a really good time. I spent a lot of time playing Vermintide and Vermintide 2. This is a step into a world that I'm more interested in over Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer 40k has always been a more appealing setting for me over Warhammer Fantasy. Although the flintlock fantasy design of Warhammer Fantasy is great. I love that aesthetic. Just the general I wouldn't say vibe, because I don't vibe with it super well, because everything sucks in the world of Warhammer 40k, but it's just a little bit more interesting than your more traditional fantasy setting. So there has been more trailers and stuff that have come out since I've played it. They are getting much closer to the actual release, so let's check it out.
Darktide is a first-person co-op game set in the grim-dark future of Warhammer 40,000.
Warhammer 40,000.
A sprawling hive city on the brink of destruction. You are a reject, a convict freed to serve the Inquisition in this darkest of hours. It is your duty to fight, and, if necessary, die for the Emperor. You can expect no help.
This game was super fun in the beta. It just had a lot of bugs. It has less bugs now, and maybe it'll change by the time they actually hit release date, because they're in that early access period. But apparently it's still not great. I've been having lots of people tell me that the game crashes an unfortunate amount of times.
The battle for Tertium is about to begin. Rejects will rise.
This trailer kind of sucked. I know I'm going to enjoy the game anyway, but I gotta say that trailer was pretty freaking weak. So this is the exclusive gameplay montage. We're just going to keep rolling through these. Sorry, I gotta adjust some headphone stuff. There we go.
Reaching into the war.
This looks like suck. What little I played, like, this is so many enemies and you are getting very surrounded by them. This person would not be doing that hot with that many enemies around them. Because it did happen to us. Yeah. It was a lot of enemies for them to just be hanging out in the middle of it. You get surrounded by that many enemies, there's a good chance you're going to be going down pretty quickly. It's not a game that you're just able to waltz through the hordes calmly. Ooh, a chainsword. I played a Psyker in the beta. I don't know what I would play this time around. The Psyker was fun, being able to like pop people's brains and stuff like that. Speaking of the Psyker. He's a big boy. It is really cool how when you're the Ogre, your camera is actually raised up higher because you're such a tall character. I like how just the regular ass montage was a better trailer than the actual customization trailer was. This is the world intro trailer. So one of the things that's super important, like we've seen a lot of trailers doing these, and a good trailer can make a massive difference.
For 10,000 years, the Imperium has dominated the galaxy. There is only war. Every human soul, from the most highborn lord to the most basic servitor, is dedicated to the service of the God Emperor of mankind. The Imperium's battle fleets and armies, from the conscripted soldiers of the Astra Militarum to the elite space marines of the Adeptus Astartes, keep humanity safe from alien threats and cosmic horrors beyond imagining.
Suck.
But there is another war. It is the one in which I serve.
Commencement translation.
Alright, just a little nurgle in your brain, don't worry about it.
Our war is not one of battlefields and fleet engagements. It is waged by the dedicated agents of the Imperial Inquisition. It is fought in the cities and hives of the Imperium.
Yeah, the way that they warp jump in Warhammer 40k is awful. They travel through hell.
In hive cities like Tertium.
That's a bit, like, oversimplifying it, but that's essentially what they do.
For if the Inquisition fails,
Oh, that sucks. I hate these fucking annotations on videos, man.
The Imperium falls with us.
There's no way to turn these off anymore either. Pisses me off all the time. Here's the official trailer. They take a shortcut through another dimension that just so happens to be hellish. Very Event Horizon. I still haven't seen that. Is it good? Is it worth watching? I hear people reference Event Horizon a lot.
This way!
Precision fire!
That's a cool gun. I didn't see that gun in the beta. That was a much better trailer. Fuck. Like, you want to talk about trailers that are again, that first trailer sucked. That one was a lot better. It had energy, it had music, it had drive in it, right? You were like, yeah, all right, we're killing stuff. We're taking out hordes of monsters and baddies. I'm here for it. That first one was just boring.
Darktide.
All right, this is our last one. This is the overview trailer.
Co-op shooter set in the grimdark universe of Warhammer 40,000. Invaded by the
Welcome to Tertium.
Sixth, the sprawling hive city of Tertium stands on the brink of destruction.
Tertium, I apologize.
The only thing standing between these chaos-worshipping heretics and victory is the mysterious Inquisitor Grendel and his war band of conscripted convicts.
Nothing like getting a bunch of prisoners to fight your wars for you.
Freed to serve the Emperor's light in this darkest of hours. You can expect no help, no reinforcements. You are Tertium's last line of defense.
Great. You know how fucked you'd feel if there was that many baddies?
Select your class.
Not just in the context of the game, just in general.
Will determine your playstyle.
Especially when you're basically just a dude.
Soldiers of the Astra Militarum, the famed Imperial Guard, and focus primarily on ranged weapons like lasguns to secure the kill. Fueled by holy wrath, zealots prefer to charge headlong into the fray. They are holy warriors who stop at nothing to purge heresy in the Emperor's name. Psychers draw
Chain axe, very nice.
Powers of the warp. But like all great powers, theirs comes with a price. Use their abilities too often, and they may meet an untimely end. What the muscle-bound and simple-minded Ogrins lack in tactical understanding, they more than make up for with prodigious strength and fortitude. Once you've made your choice, it's time to bring your reject to life by choosing their appearance, personality, and backstory.
Why is it that most big things are always considered to
Body
be
type,
dumb?
facial features, hairstyles,
Like
and
trolls,
tattoos are all customizable.
ogres in general, they're always simpler-minded. I don't understand why.
With an extensive range of lines that will showcase your reject's personality as you play.
Does this place don't fill your heart with holy fervor?
Your reject's contribution to the battle for Tertium begins at the mission terminal. Here, you'll choose from an endless stream of missions, some more urgent and perilous than others, each playing a key role in Tertium's survival. Missions require strike teams of 4 operatives. If you're not in a strike team, you'll automatically be matched with others from Grendel's warband when you embark on a mission. A mission's difficulty can vary, so choose wisely from the available options. Dead heroes serve no one.
Ah.
Every mission has a primary objective, which can be anything from retrieving vital supplies to assassinating an arch-heretic. Inquisitor Grendel's trusted servants will update your strike
An
teams.
arch heretic.
Guidance, new objectives, and occasionally thrills as the situation merits.
Isn't that a biological thing? The bigger the animal, the smaller the
The
brain?
end of round will summarize
Maybe?
your performance and
I don't know
tally
if
in
that's
the
actually
rewards.
accurate or not. And it might be that, you know, if you're big and strong, you don't need to
Players will
develop
need to master
the
both melee and ranged combat.
intelligence to survive in the way that a smaller creature does. You know, like humans, you could argue that we developed larger amounts of intelligence because we lack a lot of other survival means. We don't have a lot of, like, natural weaponry. We're not that strong.
When engaging hand to hand,
We're not that durable
use
either.
blocking and shoving to keep your enemies off balance. Then finish them off with brutal close combat weapons, such as the foe-shredding chainsword. Or the
So if
punishing
you're big, you
thunderhammer.
don't need to develop intelligence because it's difficult to
Fighting at
challenge you
range
otherwise.
requires that you take full advantage of available cover as you return fire with lasguns, grenades, and psychic bolts. As the enemy closes, you'll employ strafing and dodging.
Which
staying one
class
step
gets
ahead
the,
of
like,
odds
minigun?
to make sure you're not overwhelmed.
Like, which class gets the gun that just spits a whole bunch of bullets?
No reject can survive alone. Teamwork is everything in Darktide. Work with your strike team or die alone. Your innate toughness, your determination to press on through the pain, recharges when you're near your strike team. If that's not enough to encourage you to stay close to your friends, wandering off risks being punished by foes looking to immobilize or capture stray rejects, such as the slavering Chaos Hound or the Mobian Trapper. Once you fall prey to such enemies, only your teammates can save you. Gaining Inquisitor Grendel's favor is no easy task, but a necessary one if you're to survive. Serve diligently, and you will learn new secrets, earn greater responsibilities, and perhaps even become a trusted member of the warband.
Ooh.
As you progress through the game and level up your character, you'll choose feats to further customize your unique playstyle. You'll also earn the trust of the Warband's tech priest and access to her Shrine of the Omnissiah, where you will customize your weapons using materials collected during your missions. You can upgrade the weapon's rarity or refine its blessings and perks to create the perfect tool for vanquishing heretics. A reject lives or dies by their war gear. Better it's the best it can be. The battle for Tertium is only just beginning. In the coming weeks and months, Darktide's story will expand with seasonal content, bringing new objectives, new maps, new dangers, and new challenges to keep you and the rest of Grendel's warband on your toes.
Gotta keep you busy.
Needs
Can't have you completing all the content too early.
needs you.
So here's one of the things that I will also touch on is that, like, I played a decent amount of Vermintide and Vermintide 2, but I had a very significant issue with the game's progression. The story was fine and, like, the general gameplay was pretty good, and I enjoyed a lot of what it had in those aspects, but it had an issue with the idea of that so much of your loot was randomized, and it was really, really hard to get the loot that you wanted or to upgrade the loot that you have. And it seems like Darktide has really learned a lot from that. I know some people really enjoyed that system before, but for me, I was like, no. I'd be like playing as the elf, and it's like, I really want better dual blades, and we're going to go after this mission, we're going to do all these things to increase our chances, because it was a literal dice roll of trying to get a better piece of equipment. And you'd get a piece of equipment, and you'd be like, all right, sick. And then it ends up being like a legendary, like, blunderbuss for the Inquisitor. And you're like, that's not helpful to me whatsoever. I don't want that. I'm not playing that class. I'm not doing that. And that always just really, really hurt a lot when you're trying to progress in the direction that you want. And the game is just really unfortunate. How you deal in World of Warcraft raids, that's an entirely different bundle of things. But it was really frustrating in that aspect, because you just had so little control over even trying to get the things that you wanted. And Darktide, they added in a shop where you can get the types of items that you want. They added more options to upgrade and improve so you don't have to lose your gear as often for the sake of just trying to find upgrades as you're progressing along. And I like that a lot. I think that's a really good change. Even beyond the other things, like one of the other things that's nice about Darktide is that while I wouldn't recommend it, if you wanted to, you could play as 4 Ogre, the big dude in the back. In Vermintide 2, there was like 4 or 5 different characters depending on release versus DLC or which version of the game and stuff, and you weren't allowed to have duplicates. So 2 people couldn't play the elf at the same time. 2 people, you had to all be different characters, which really sucked if you had 2 people that you, like, you know, if you're playing with a group of friends and one of those people is like, I really like this character, and someone's like, me too. Shit, one of us has to change if we want to play together. That thankfully is not the case with Darktide. You won't be served as well if you don't cover all of your bases, but as long as you are playing like at your best, you could still play with 4 of all of the same type of character, and it's just nice that you even have that option. So that's Warhammer 40k Darktide. I like it a lot. I can say from the short time that I got to play it in the beta, it's gonna be a good time. I hope that they support it well. I hope that they really work on some of the things that were issues technical wise. I think gameplay wise and presentation wise, it has a very, very strong showing, but it did have a pretty significant number of bugs in the beta, but hopefully in the time since then, those have been squashed. And I know that a lot of people right now in this early access period have been having an issue with crashes. Not necessarily as many bugs. There's been a couple achievements that have been bugged, but the types of bugs that we were having before, where it's just like glitchy messes and things not loading and stuff, I haven't heard much information about that, but I have heard a lot of people talk about the game crashing on them and crashing at random times in the middle of missions. It does have a reconnect feature, which is nice because we're seeing those not be as common as I feel like they should in these multiplayer style games, to where like once you get kicked or you disconnect or the game crashes or whatever, that's it, you're done. You got to wait for your friends to finish that mission, or you all got to start over, and that's just unfortunate. And it's good to at least see them have that option of potentially being able to reconnect and fill that slot that you were in before. So that's Warhammer 40k Darktide. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have been enjoying it, did you buy it on Steam so that you could access it in this early availability period? Are you waiting like me so you can just play it day 1 on Xbox Game Pass? Are you a fan of Vermintide or Vermintide 2? That's another one, Athena. Yeah, there was lots of desyncs. I haven't heard anyone talk about desyncs so far in this early access period, so hopefully that's been improved too. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. If you want to keep up with the conversation elsewhere, 2 great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream on Twitch, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you do watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.